Thank you for joining this webinar. It's a pleasure to meet with you and tell you a lot about our StorageCraft data protection technology and how our different choices that we offer to you can best help you adapt to your data protection needs. I'm responsible for the data protection development here at StorageCraft, and would like to step you through a number of products. We understand that as you look at our StorageCraft and other vendors, as you're looking at meeting the needs of your data protection, that there's a lot of terminology and there's a lot of solutions that you can see side by side. StorageCraft has been investing over the last several years on expanding our portfolio, and the goal is to be able to evolve our capabilities to be able to provide the data protection, the disaster recovery, and data management capabilities that our customers need as things are evolving. And as you look at our broader set of solutions that we list here, you can start getting a sense of the variety of capabilities and the broad set of needs that we consume. We also realize that as our customers start looking at all these different names and product offerings, that there might be a question as to which one is the right one for me, which one should I, where is a good starting place to start taking care of my data protection needs as I look at a vendor such as StorageCraft and the great technology they offer. So the purpose of this webinar is to be able to give you a framework that allows you to be well informed of different solutions and capabilities, and help that be the means through which you can make good decisions and provide the best protection for your needs. And I will start out here by stating a bit about our history of our product set. StorageCraft has now been in business for 17 years, and over the years, it really built a lot of its initial and current success on what we call the Shadow Protect product line. And it's depicted here as it has evolved over all that time to be able to provide a full set of capabilities and an ecosystem around it that allows our customers to be able to protect their virtual environments, physical servers, desktops, and then be able to leverage all kinds of resources, both in on-prem as well as off-site, whether that be to public cloud, StorageCraft cloud, as well as many other sites that our customers use, their own data centers or some other partners of them that allow them to do replication and in some cases failover. In the process of providing that set of capabilities, there had been a number of technologies that had made Shadow Protect a staple leader in the industry. And then starts from parallel agent-based protection with deep integration with some core components, kernel components, and operating systems that allow us to give protection without having introducing disruption to other processes and workloads that are running on some of those machines. It also evolved into being able to do replication and be able to leverage doing image management, replication, consolidation through technology that can be incorporated in a number of environments and even embedded into a number of solutions. And that obviously increases the applicability of some of these modules and capabilities. Probably the thing that StorageCraft is best known for, though, is our ability to recover, right? I think you've heard this, anyone can create a copy of an image and some incrementals, but the reliability in being able to always recover, whether it be because of the technology that we had to be able to do hardware independent restores, never failing, right? The ability to do a virtual boot or instant recovery without requiring to have a separate step to move data from secondary to primary storage, whether it be the ability to do a quick mount and enable somebody to restore files straight into their environment, operating environment, and the Head Start Restore technology that allows someone to be running basically a mirror system for very quick failover to another system that is ready to pick up the workload where the other one left off. All these capabilities is what's given StorageCraft and its ecosystem the trust of many of our customers, and have actually propelled to be a leader in the industry. And so we had StorageCraft has built much of its success on that Shadow Protect product line, but we have continued to look at the needs of our customers. We have seen the needs of the evolving threats that are always being introduced and that are being faced by customers, besides just disaster, besides just nature occurring disruption, human errors that are introduced by just a user not doing things wisely or forgetting certain steps, all the way to the malicious attacks that are prevalent today, including ransomware and other high-profile attacks that you see today. And as we talk to our customers, we are hearing more and more, and this is not new. This has been happening incrementally over a number of years. But whereas at one point the things that they wanted to protect resided sort of in an area they could easily control. They could either lock down environments. They could either implement very rigid boundaries around what that could be. That the ability for data and operation processes to bleed outside that space is the rule now, not the exception, right? And that includes the remote sites and road warriors and remote offices, branch offices, as well as main sites, right? That's always been there, and data centers, and then a lot of these things moving also to the cloud. Not only in where the data resides, but also in how it's provided, right? As instead of having traditional applications that are running and managed by the customer and using the customer's data, all the way to SaaS, right? Applications that are basically hosted and provided as a service, and where the customer is only really worrying about their own data and not everything else that makes that run. And so that variety, and by the way, it's not just, none of this is static. There are workloads that are constantly moving in one direction or the other, right? And having solutions that address one well but not the other just make that increase the complexity of having to protect that environment. Not only have all these places where our customers need to protect their environment grown and become actually more fluid, but also the types of things that customers are trying to protect has also changed. Obviously, virtual and physical servers and desktops, that's where everything kind of got started. But we're seeing a huge increase in the need to protect unstructured data, right? Structure has always been kind of an element of data protection and recovery, but we're seeing all kinds of growth in unstructured data and different types of media, different types of type of information that is being protected is also changed significantly. I mentioned SaaS already, side-by-side enterprise applications, and then it's moving over to be able to protect certain containers or data that is being used by containers and other services. So in this fluid and ever-expanding environment, we saw the need to evolve what we offer with Shadow Protect into a more comprehensive and more unified set of capabilities. And this is where 3.5 years ago, StorageCraft launched into this initiative to provide a platform that would include a common software-defined infrastructure that would provide a unified set of, or a standardized set of capabilities for protecting systems and data, all kinds of data, and that could be provided in all these different scenarios without requiring customers to have to relearn how that was done, how it was managed, how it was protected, and how it could be recovered, right? And so the investment on this platform, including a central way to manage that, to do dashboarding of that, and to be able to do reports in a consistent manner, and to be able to set SLAs or policies that allow someone to protect whatever data they want to protect, and whatever they need to do that in a consistent manner, is at the core of this platform, which you saw us introducing the term safe, right, which has become a postfix to a lot of our product lines, whether it be OneSafe Solo, OneSafe, ShadowSafe, and then our cloud offerings. And what this platform allows us to do is to be able to provide the presence, right, and customize that presence for the capabilities of that we're offering in this platform into the individual areas, into individual locations where this needs to exist. And I'm going to give you some examples of how we do that. But this is what is expanding our realm of capabilities and the way in which we are able to address our customer needs and how they can start looking at ways to have a unified approach as our customers of how to protect those environments using a single sort of infrastructure and platform to that. Now, at the bottom of that last slide, I mentioned central management. And this is something that is core to our story. Right? Not only are the architectural components and modules that these solutions are being built on common, microservices architecture, et cetera, but the experience for managing this thing is something where we see great benefits in this consolidation and unification effort. We have chosen to call this central management approach one system. Right, and it's the ability to manage our current set of capabilities and future set of capabilities through this one consolidated fashion. Today, we are using one system to manage OneSafe, ShadowSafe, and OneSafe Solo, and we are quickly adding the rest of our going forward platform to this management solution, which by the way is being hosted in the cloud with an option as well for our customers to deploy that as an on-prem solution. But we believe in, and we're seeing huge traction on the ability to have this always running with the most recent updates and improvements on scalable hardware, and just being able to be always available for anywhere management. And so one system becomes a core component of the story as we go forward. So our choices are wonderful, right? Choices allow us to be able to expand and be very focused around specific areas and specific goals that our customers have in mind and that they want to accomplish. But it also introduces the need for our customers to choose, right? And choose sometimes can take an effort. And so wanted to spend a few minutes on this web is to help you answer this question: what solution is right for me? And be able to see, as we include and as we expand our portfolio, what things can you look at to help you make the decision of, particularly on-prem protection. When is Shadow Protect the best choice for you, and when you should look at our ShadowSafe or OneSafe Solo types of product solutions and product lines to be able to take advantage of that. So I'm going to have the next 4 slides, just side-by-side discussion on different aspects of things that you would want to consider as you make that choice. First of all, Shadow Protect, or SPX now, which is our more recent version that we're selling right now. It is a full feature product offering. Right? It has been developed, like I mentioned, for over the last 17 years. And in that time, we've had the time to add all kinds and respond to all kinds of use cases. Some of them more corner case, some of them main street cases, but it has evolved into a full feature and rich product offering, it has obviously been hardened by all kinds of different scenarios. And not only that, but we continue to have investment. I'm going to give you more details on the type of investment that we have in that. And we know that many of our customers have embedded not only the technology, but the processes that are involved in Shadow Protect into their environments. And that makes it for a powerful way to optimize and streamline certain operations when you're using things that you're really familiar with and have a lot of different knobs and different options for configuring what you need to do. Right? I would say that it is particularly well fit to be able to meet many of our customers' needs, particularly around our small and medium business. And it's a great solution. Now you have Shadow Save in conjunction with that. And the way that to view Shadow Save is as an opportunity to consolidate vendors. One of the things that we've heard from many of our Shadow Protect users is that on occasion they have to have more than one vendor to be able to do certain workloads that they might use Shadow Protect for a lot of things that they need to protect, and then they need something specific, maybe virtualization. Maybe they have a virtual environment that is very fluid, where VMs are being moved from one host to the other in rapid fashion, and they would like to do things, be able to manage those things and protect those VMs without requiring an agent. And as a result, they start looking at other solutions to complement what they do with Shadow Protect. Shadow Save comes in to be able to address those scenarios quite well. So it is an ideal solution for virtual environments that are either growing, right, or that are already large. In particular, if they're very dynamic, then Shadow Save offers a great solution for that. It can coexist with Shadow Protect to a very, very large extent, particularly if you're protecting a machine through an agent-based approach, which is what Shadow Protect does. And then you introduce Shadow Save as a protection means without an agent, like host-based protection, communicating directly with the hypervisor layer. Then these things can coexist quite nicely. And then people can start deciding, when to fade one in favor of the other, if that's the direction that they want to go. It has integration with some of the other. We're increasing the level of integration with other products, including our storage solutions, OneSafe, OneSafe Solo as well, and cloud. And we're looking at additional. This is the last point here is something that is changing quickly. We're looking at additional means to be able to coexist, improve coexistence and migration for customers that wish to move Shadow Protect change in the future to Shadow Save. This is work that is underway and will help folks that decide that this is the right solution to them to be able to make that move when the time is right for them. One way to think about Shadow Protect side by side Shadow Save is represented in this slide. If you think about, and by the way, here on the left-hand side is a cockpit for a Boeing 747, and on the right-hand side is the Boeing 787 cockpit. And there's a couple things to point out here, and I think they kind of reflect a bit of the philosophy and mentality, things that might align with your likeness, or with your what is it that you actually enjoy, and the tools that you enjoy using and you need for your organizations. You can think of Shadow Save, this 747 cockpit on the left-hand side, where it's remarkable, right? It's remarkable that it has the ability to protect and to be able to tweak just about every aspect of how you do things. People through the years have learned, where files are stored, and they can do things by moving files in the background and looking at all kinds of things to be able to fine-tune, tweak, and do a lot of things that they need to do. And again, it's something that is inspiring and worthy of all, and it moves forward, right? And it continues to do that for ultimate control and configurability of how you want to protect your environment. On the right-hand side, a slightly different approach is a solution that is designed to be able to really increase and maximize the efficiency of your operations, right? Where a lot of the decisions you don't have to do explicitly, right? They just happen behind the scenes. Central management is the starting place, right? Not something that you add on to it. SLA-based management, policy-based management is the starting place, right? So that you can set and forget what you need to do. The scalability of being able to protect things without requiring an agent, while having the agent option in ShadowSafe as well. It's another way to increase and optimize efficiency around how you run, how you protect your environment, right? So this is actually a good metaphor of how to think one. And I've spoken to many customers that they're delighted by the fact that they know exactly all the knobs that need to do, and they need to turn the levers that they need to lift or lower to be able to accomplish what they need to do. And Shadow Protect is just perfect for them, right? And then there are those that want to bring on board new personnel, and they know they might not have the time for that type of maturity to emerge, and they want something that works well out of the box and is easy to just keep running and stuff. And ShadowSafe and Solo are certainly great solutions for that type of approach. Now, if I were to drill down a little bit on that, you can think here, and by the way, I'm introducing here now OneSafe Solo as one column. You can see here that Shadow Protect, if I were to say the headline for that is that it gives you ultimate customizable solution for the SMB. And underneath that, we have the things that have made StorageCraft great, right? The agent-based protection for Windows and Linux, the ability to have deep integration, right, with the kernel pieces that allows us to do that type of work. It's great for protecting from just a few machines, because every single Shadow Protect implementation can have a console, right, that you can use to make sure that everything is set for this particular machine just the way you want it. But you can also expand to several dozens and 100 or 200 machines by pairing it up with Shadow Control, which is a component that is part of that as well. And all kinds of options for configuring. A lot of people ask me, what is the development effort that is going behind it? And it overall, Shadow Protect is a feature complete, it's a feature mature piece. So there's not a lot of need for a lot of new development, but it is there's a need to continue to develop around refinements. We're always learning from our customers a lot of things that they'd like to be done better. There's a lot of requests to stay very current on all kinds of platforms, hardware, operating systems, and otherwise. So we have a aggressive way to update that and keep up with the times, and then reported issues, right? So that is sort of what that stack looks like. Now, ShadowSafe and OneSafe Solo share a lot of common pieces, but if you were to distinguish, and then there's some differences. If you were to distinguish at the top of it, ShadowSafe provides the most scalable solution, both for the SMB and for the mid-sized enterprise, right? It allows you, because it's 100% software-defined solution, it allows you to have some flexibility in how you implement things, where you replicate things, where you run those VMs, and you can beef up the host of those VMs to scale greatly, right? Or you can run it very thinly on a Windows 10 machine, for instance, running Hyper-V. And so it gives you all kinds of different layers of scalability. On the right-hand side with OneSafe Solo, you can think of it as absolutely the simplest deployment experience for remote clients or remote sites, right? I'll go over some of why that statement is true in just a second. But notice that because they share the common platform, there's a lot of benefits that are common to both of them, right? Both have agent and agentless protection side by side. It's a seamless experience for the manager, for an administrator to protect both methods, just with the exact same policies, the exact same console. It just simplifies their operations in an immeasurable manner. As I talked about, SLA-based central management, where people manage by the outcome, right? This is when I'm going to feel protected when this is the outcome. I have this many backups. They are residing in this particular places, and I can recover from them in this particular fashion. Right? You specify what the outcome that you want, and then the product works relentlessly to make sure that that policy, that outcome that you define, is met all the time, continuously, day in, day out. Right? So unified management experience. The platform is modern. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on that, but it allows us to have huge flexibility in how these components and these benefits get deployed and where, right, while offering a consistent experience and set of values to our customers. Now, what's different between these two, as ShadowSafe, as I said earlier, it's a software-defined virtual appliance that you can deploy, and so it gives you some additional options because of that, right? And it does allows you to replicate anywhere you want. You can replicate to our cloud, or you can choose not to. You can replicate to some offsite location, and you're not bound by any of that. It's just you're free to do what you please with that. And it can, because of the ability to scale up, right, and resource it the way that you want in any customized way that you want, it actually is the best solution for scaling out to hundreds and even thousands of machines, right? And so that is your choice. On the right-hand side, OneSolo is actually deployment for protection of remote customers or remote sites and clients. Then you are actually providing an appliance, a very simple appliance that is able to protect that. It always has replication and failover to the StorageCraft cloud, just is part of it, as part of that simple way of protecting a remote site. It's just part of that, and it's a fantastic, probably the best solution in the market to be able to protect a site that has 1 to 20 machines there. Right, it has a huge range of flexibility in that means. Now, as far as what you can expect from development, and I'm going to cover this in more detail here in just a second. It's a complete. It already contains it. We have now been shipping this technology for almost 2 years, and it has a complete core set of capabilities for backup and recovery, right? And so that's great. And again, the emphasis is always on the ease of use, but it has a lot of more options that are being added to it. I'm going to show you here in just a second the cadence at which we're adding features to ShadowSafe is quite remarkable, and includes the ability for, in the very near future, continue to consolidate the management of additional solutions into this one experience and platform, right? So those are some of the decisions, some of the information that allows you to make some decisions based on the capabilities. Now, if you're thinking about implementation pieces, you know, how can I think of these things side by side on the actual modules that I need to manage, that I need to deploy? This is one way to think about it. Notice that all three of these products, we try to maximize the pieces that are common, right? Obviously, there's technology that we have in StorageCraft has developed, invested for many years, and it behooves us and behooves our customers to leverage as much of that because of the time that it's had to mature and harden, have the full set of features in it. And so at the very bottom, starting from what is the bread and butter of StorageCraft is the ability to do agent-based protection, right? Snapshot Driver has something that has been used not just by us, but many other vendors in the industry. StorageCraft has particularly originally licensed that technology very broadly. And so it has a lot of exposure and it's helped a lot of people be successful. And then all these components have share that technology. And as you move up, in addition to having agent-based protection, the agentless protection is offered by ShadowSafe and OneSafe Solo, right? And it's the same module that does that provides the same sort of capabilities that Image Manager provides for retention, replication, and consolidation of backup images, right? So you can think of those components as a service leader being a superset of what Image Manager can do, but it's incorporated a little more cleanly as a feature of one solution as opposed to a different product. Recovery capabilities are very similar. We keep expanding what can be done with ShadowSafe and OneSolo, in that we are extending the ability to virtual boot, not just from local storage or SMB over SMB, but all over from anywhere, right? From the cloud, from data centers, from iSCSI, from NFS. And so it's a core technology, but just being expanded as we apply that to the new platform. The single machine management, that's something that only Shadow Protect can do. That's an option. There is no such option with ShadowSafe and Solo. Like I said earlier, the starting point is that all management is available always, centrally And so you're able to do that. For central management, for Shadow Protect, is you have Shadow Control, which is another product that you can use in tandem, which SPX, whereas with Shadow Safe, that's one system that I talked a bit earlier. And we use leverage the same StorageCraft cloud services for purposes of replicating offsite and being able to do disaster recovery or failover to the cloud, right? And that is common, and it's something that we get great gains from that. So those are that's our product line for on-prem protection, side by side. Let me do a bit of a drill down. I'm not going to go super deep. We're gonna find out from you what is it that you would like us to do a really deep dive in some of these solutions. But I do want to give you a sense for these three products and how we're investing, what you can expect from us, from StorageCraft, over the next few months. First of all, let's start with Shadow Protect as a product line. And as you see depicted here, Shadow Protect is really a rich suite of complementing products, right? You've heard, even during this presentation, I've referred to Shadow Protect itself, or SPX. I've referred to Shadow Control and Image Manager. But there are other pieces that are part of that ecosystem that allow our partners, our customers, to implement a full solution, whether it be cloud services, which I also mentioned. We have recovery environments that allow our customers to recover into physical servers and other platforms with hardware independent imaging sort of capabilities or restore capabilities. We have integration with some remote management tools and things of that sort. And we also have granular recovery for Exchange. All these pieces work to provide a full set of capabilities that our customers need. Not only they make part of a very mature and loyal ecosystem, right? It's hard to find a place where you haven't had someone who in their backup experience has come across and used Shadow Protect at some point in their career, right? In fact, many of them have taken some of that knowledge to go and build careers around disaster recovery because of the knowledge that they gain by using Shadow Protect components. And so, and then I mentioned earlier that the DNA, the technology of Shadow Protect is actually also present in a number of solutions in the industry, which has helped us harden that technology and evolve it through the years. And it is without a question a solid go-forward choice for our customers who want to have the best protection for their environments. And to that point, I wanted to just quickly show you sort of where we've been, and we know that that sometimes maybe the word doesn't get out as much as we would like to, but investing in the Shadow Protect product line is a key initiative for StorageCraft. I'm actually in charge, among other things, over this particular product line, and I can attest to the fact that we are constantly updating the different components that make up or solutions products that make up this product line, right? And you can see here, just mentioned in blue, the boxes that have just been released. I just went back here a year, right? There's a lot of other things that happen sort of in between, but this has sort of the bigger releases that we have seen. I'll like to in particular highlight the Image Manager 7.6.0 release that came out last March, and we have received a lot of great feedback in some of the capabilities that we had developed there. We added the ability to do a check disk verification, but instead of just seeing something that is loading up as a recovery and you see the login screen coming up, we go deeper now by actually doing a check disk operation on that to make sure that the image that has been backed up and you would need to restore, it's actually hasn't been tampered with, it hasn't been that no data corruption has been introduced, not only to the boot sequence, but to some of the other sectors and other areas of that image that might have data and might have applications in them. So that's a great benefit to our customers. We see a lot of improvements in speed and replication and other things. So we're really fond of that. There's a couple of things that people reported in some ports and we're coming out with a patch in the next couple of weeks to be able to address a couple of remaining issues with that. But overall, it has been something that it's probably what it's being our image manager version that has probably seen the fastest adoption in the history of image manager, and it's been I think in great part because of these great benefits that came through it. And you can see that we're working on other big things right now. In green are things that are currently being implemented. The Linux recovery environment, we're about to ship that. We're getting more and more feedback on better and support for GPT systems, and we have a number of improvements on that coming out next week is when we plan to release that. And then you can see here that we have a major release of SPX coming out about 10 weeks after LRE is out, and we're going to be working on that, messaging that out to you. And you can see some of the things that we're working on here. These are core pieces. These are important pieces. It actually been working on most of these pieces for about a year, and it's time for us to release some of these components and get that value to our customers. Anyway, you can see it's a rich set of capabilities and roadmap that we will continue to work and bring to bear as part of Shadow Protect. Okay, so let me switch gears a little bit now to give a sense for how we're doing with ShadowSave. And for some of you who are familiar with ShadowSave, this will be just a bit repetitive, but I'm going to go just super high level on what ShadowSave is to bring some of you guys up to speed on what we're doing here, and then talk a little bit about what you can expect from the version that we're about to ship here in another 4 weeks. First of all, this illustrates the focus around ShadowSave. Of most importance here is on the left-hand side in this blue stack, that we wanted to bring every capability that comes through the integration with the kernel pieces of an operating system that gives us agent-based protection, the best agent-based protection. And that is a core component, as I showed earlier, is shared technology across our portfolio of products, and is what gives us a huge leg up in being able to protect not only physical machines, but also VMs that have specific requirements around RTO or RPO, and requirements around not causing any impact on the performance of the host where those VMs are running. So agent continues to be a huge answer to an overall solution. But then we started moving to the right with some enriched features. I covered quite a bit around the SLA-based type of management. We wanted to start with a point that central management is always there and is always optimized. So I'm going to talk about that streamlined experience for it here in the next slide. And then on the far right is where we focus around introducing host-based protection side by side agent-based protection. This is a little trickier said than done, right? You've seen many implementations where they basically two different solutions, one for agent and one for host-based agentless protection. And our task was to make that be absolutely seamless, and we have done that, and to the benefit of every customer that is looking at ShadowSave as something that is going to be a huge benefit to them. I talked about the platform being modernized and a number of other things here that are important, including having a common way of reporting, dashboarding, and being able to do all those experiences. Speaking of the user interface, this is something that the 17 years of experience gave us a huge leg up on, right? Instead of starting like how we done with Shadow Protect, where a lot of those products that were added, right, that form that ecosystem came as we learn about new needs of our customers, right? Starting with that experience and that rear view of what things need and where things need to go, we start out, if we were to design this with all that knowledge already present, what would this look like? What processes would we solve to optimize as part of this? And that was the starting point, right? And so we have actually done a tremendous amount of UX work to make sure that not only are things the minimum number of clicks and decisions that somebody needs to make to accomplish the most common and particularly the most critical tasks that are part of data protection, but we had made sure that everything was done in some contextual way that make it intuitive, right? And always repetitive, always consistent, no matter where somebody is trying to recover from. whether it's from a remote data center, from a local copy, from some USB drive, right? The experience for recovering that particular image or files in there is exactly the same when it comes down to using shadow control, shadow safe, and this console, right? And so a lot of these things, SLA, centrally management, are things that are a core tenet of not shadow safe, but that platform that goes forward as a common platform for all of our solutions. We simplify the way that it's this architecture and organized so that instead of being separate products that you need to deploy, maybe even purchase or order, you only order one product, and these are just features that are enabled, right? And they're components that you deploy, but it's all already integrated, not only in the technology, but in how you purchase them and how you think about them, and how you upgrade them, and all this sort of stuff. It's just one place. It's all one version, right? You don't have different things to manage, different things to keep track of. It's all really one product. And this simplicity, not only it makes it much simpler to manage, but at the same time, we have the ability to deploy these pieces where they're needed, right? Because of their microservices implementation, it allows you to put these components where you need it. As an example here, you would have one system. One system is, as I've gone over a few times, is the name that we give our central management for this piece. And then you would have a service leader wherever you need to actually have a local presence for protection. Whether you are protecting through an agent, as is the example in client 1, where you're protecting the physical server with an agent, and then all the VMs are being protected without an agent, just through a host-based sort of interaction with a virtual platform that works. You want to have an agent on each machine and VM, you can do that. If you want to run this service leader on a Windows 10 machine and treat that as a DDR in a smaller environments, you can do that as well. So the range of implementations, because of this software-defined sort of approach to data protection is almost limitless, right? You can do all this stuff, and then not only can that service leader live in smaller pieces, smaller environments, or large environments remotely, it can actually be deployed in your data center to provide protection of this is a partner, but think of this as a data center or a enterprise data center, but it can actually provide protection of that at the same time that is allowing that enterprise to be able to protect the individual branches, individual other locations that may reside where they need to be. Cloud being obviously always in the picture. So this is what the development of Shadow Safe has looked like since our initial release in August 2018. That's the first time that we came out with that, being a very end user, very enterprise focused. We came out with full support for vCenter. That was the impetus for that, being able to protect VMs in virtual environments, both for an agent and agentless, bringing that UI that I just talked about into one release. And then since then, you can see that we have had pretty much every other release has been a feature release, a maintenance release, and then we've added some critical features and capabilities in version 2. We started adding more support for Hyper-V, being able to deploy the infrastructure for Shadow Safe into a Hyper-V, being able to manage multiple sites, not just a data center, came with that release. And then in March, just more recently here, version 3 added the solo. So the hardware, being able to bring some of the hardware aspects of deploying components of Shadow Safe as an appliance. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. And then coming out here in another 3-4 weeks is the ability to is version 4, right, where we will add full support for Hyper-V so that our customers can actually not only protect Hyper-V VMs through an agent, which you can do today, but be able to protect those environments without an agent, through an agentless or host-based protection for that. And while we're going to add ESXi as well. We know that helps us move down market, and that's something that we're getting a lot of requests for. Management from the cloud. So one system for Shadow Safe from the cloud is going to be available at that time, and that results in having a unified management approach for Shadow Safe and Solo. And we know that many of our customers are having to make that hard decision. Do I go software-defined in how I protect my environment, or do I go appliance-based, right? And you choose one vendor or the other. We're removing that choice. You can decide that for this particular site, this is the way to go. Maybe the appliance. For everything else, I want to go software-defined without complicating how you are going to manage that, right? You have the same management experience for that. We're very excited about that release. We think it's going to do great things for our customers. Let me jump into Solo, and I know that we're close here on time, but the Solo, one of the things that our customers came back to us and said, look, I love the flexibility of having this service leader, this VM that I can deploy anywhere where I need to protect an environment. But for some environments, I don't even have a virtual infrastructure to leverage. So I would like to have the logic and all the power of that service leader component of ShadowSafe in an appliance that is very versatile. I can deploy anywhere, and that's what we've done. Right? So this thing has all the power, being able to protect Hyper-V, vCenter, ESXi, physical servers, right? Because basically it's ShadowSafe smarts inside this piece, right? And then being able to, but it's able to copy that information directly to our cloud. It can use a NAS. It can communicate through NFS, SMB, SCSI, even a USB drive to be able to do that. Or you can also, or a customer can decide to put a drive, insert a drive, an internal drive in this piece. It's managed from the cloud, always through this one system that is cloud hosted, and it leverages cloud services for all disaster recovery types of functionality. Right? And so similarly to the previous slide that I showed, this is basically what we have with that, right? So instead of having a service leader in each one of these locations, then all you have to do is deploy a Solo appliance, right, where you need it. In some cases, I could very easily have a couple of these scenarios be running a service leader with ShadowSafe, right, and still have a central way to manage everything from one location. But notice that the range of flexibility and being able to match the specific needs of a remote site to and your and everything else that you want to protect with the right solution, again, without having to add complexity to how to manage that, is something that is a reality to this piece. And then finally, to look to this thing, you will see that ease of deployment is something that is key to this solution, where a partner or customer can request and purchase the solution. All it needs to happen is it needs to be plugged to power and to the network, powered on, and then it will just show up as part of the administrative experience when they go to one system. Your IT department will just be able to see that it's there available to be able to be activated, and then to start protecting what you want to protect through that. So it's a complete set of capabilities. We're extremely excited and happy to bring this full range of capabilities to what you need to do. And what I would like to do now is, let me make a mention of two things. Cloud services. We know that no solution today can meet the needs of a customer without having cloud in it. And so, whereas this is not the core aspect of this particular session, you have seen multiple places in here where that is part of our solution and how we integrate, whether it be Shadow Protect, ShadowSafe, or Solo with our cloud, and it provides off-prem replication as well as disaster recovery. These are the offerings that we have for that, and they apply to all of these solutions. Being able to not only have data safely protected everywhere, but being able to actually be able to fail over directly to our cloud. This is, by the way, among our customers, probably the most effective way to protect and recover from a ransomware attack. We have seen this being kind of sort of the last line of defense, and it has saved many hours and dollars from our customers, and being able to leverage that. Side by side, this capability is the ability in our portfolio to protect SaaS, right? And in particular, our focus right now is for Office 365 and G Suite, right? And whereas SaaS has a really amazing platform to run on, the responsibility for the data and what happens to all that information, whether it is affected by malicious attacks or by the use. Somebody just decided to delete a specific folder or information or email or whatever, or thread, and then the ability to recover that is something that we guarantee and help with through our cloud backup solution. And that is the means for our customers to sort of complete what they can do when it comes down to protecting the broad environment through a single solution. Notice that we are leveraging cloud to be able to protect that data, right? And it's exactly what our customers have asked us to do, and I think it lines up with many of our many enterprises and organizations desire to use more of the cloud.